So this was a common experience that I felt every single time that I used to be in high school. I remember when I used to be in high school, as soon as I walked into my school's building, I experienced this like tense anxiety. It was almost as like my heart rate would always go up, my heartbeat would beat super fast, and it was almost as like my body was just like preparing itself, bracing itself to be judged by every single student that day. And I remember during this time, I tried talking to people. I tried being super social and hyping myself in conversation, telling myself I'd make a bunch of friends, get a girlfriend, be this really social guy. But every single time that I tried talking to people, I wouldn't know what to say. My mind would freeze. I would overanalyze every conversation, start thinking about what the other person would think about me. And because of this, I had no friends. I had some acquaintances that I would talk to here and there, but this whole experience just made me feel really insecure and unconfident about myself. Every single time that I walked in the hallways in school, right, it honestly felt like a death sentence. It honestly felt like a death sentence. I remember I was 5'6" as a sophomore. I was pretty short. I hated the way I looked. I wasn't white. I was in a predominantly white state. I was brown. I was Asian and Hispanic. But I felt so inferior compared to everybody else. And I remember my confidence was so low in high school that whenever I would walk into school, if there was somebody that I saw that I knew that would say hi to me or somebody that I knew, I would literally on purpose go on my phone, pretend like I was texting someone and act like I didn't see them. Or, I would look to my left, look to my right, look straight ahead. And when someone finally said something to me, I'd be like, oh, what's up, bro? Sorry, I didn't see you there. When in reality, I saw them. I didn't have the confidence to say hi to them and the confidence to actually like recognize them and acknowledge them. And the worst thing about this was that I looked at every single person around me, and every single person in that school seemed to have confidence. Every single person knew what to say in conversation. They were making friends. They had the confidence to do sports and get involved and have this social life and feel good about themselves. But I didn't. And during this point when I realized this, I realized and asked myself, why do I have to live my life being unconfident? Why can't I have good self esteem? Why can't I feel really good about myself? So, this was the point in my life where I started going all out on improving my confidence, right? I literally started doing a bunch of research. I was watching hundreds of hours of YouTube videos. And I remember I started learning about things that kind of helped my confidence. I remember I was watching videos on charisma. I tried being this really funny guy, making people laugh. I remember I also tried improving my style, my looks, to like make myself confident. But if there's one thing that I could recommend to any unconfident person, and if there's one thing that had the biggest improvement on my confidence, it's this one thing I'm going to tell you right here. And I look back at this now, right? And I realized that this was the foundation to my confidence that literally branched out into so many different things. And honestly, this thing that I want to tell you, I honestly, in my opinion, I feel like there is no other thing that you can do. You can do anything else but this. But if you don't do this right here, you're not going to have true confidence. And the confidence that you're going to have and you think you're going to have will be fake if you don't do this. And this thing that I'm talking about is literally just improving your physical health, training your body, doing fitness so that you have an aesthetic, you have a body that you're proud of, and that when you look good, you're gonna feel good. And then eating foods that aren't gonna make you anxious, foods that aren't sugary, foods that aren't processed, that are gonna allow your brain to actually get the right nutrients to be smart and say good things in conversation. That's it. Now you might be thinking right now, oh, but I don't have the money to buy healthy foods. It's expenses. I don't have the time or money to buy a gym membership. And that's the misconception with this. Because as someone who's been working out and training for 10 years, I laugh and I realize that doing all this is cheap. Let me tell you, you think that eating healthy and training is expensive, right? Because of social media. You've probably seen the fitness influencers who post videos are like, oh, my protein goal, my meal of the day, my full day of eating. You probably see them with the lean meats, they're adding all these ingredients, these foods, these slices, all of these sauces. And let me tell you something. Someone who eats healthy that is just completely normal does not buy all that food. Let me tell you something. First of all, these fitness influencers are rich, so they can afford these foods. And second, they're adding all these foods because it gets views. Imagine if they only added 2 to 3 foods, 2 ingredients, minimalistic diet. It wouldn't get any views whatsoever. But because, they need the video to look good, they need to add all these things, they're adding all these unnecessary things. So eating healthy is not expensive whatsoever. I live with 3 other guys at a huge university, right? And they always laugh at me because, first of all, I only spend $50 on groceries. And they're like, JJ, you don't seem to get lots of groceries. Why is that? But like, you're the most in shape out of all of us. And I'm just like, bro, you don't need to get a bunch of things to eat healthy. I spent minimally a week, $50. And my gym membership is $15. But let me tell you something. If I could do it, I would just do body weight exercise, because going to the gym, it takes gas. My gym's kind of far where I'm at, but doing body weight exercises for free, and literally doing body weight exercises is the only thing that you really need. You don't need to be jacked like these bodybuilders. You might be thinking, oh, I'm never going to get big like these guys, but literally bodybuilders are not the most confident people. I'm going to explain all this, okay? But let me tell you something. When you're improving your physical health, when you're building muscle, first of all, you're going to look good. You're going to feel good. You're going to have more confidence in yourself because you have this athletic, strong body, right? Second thing, because of that progress, you realize you went through pain. You went through something hard that nobody else can take away. So you're going to feel good about yourself because you put in the work. The third thing, you're eating the right foods that are going to allow you to become smart. Listen, all these processed foods, these sugary foods, these salty foods, they are depleting your brain. They're making you feel tired. That's why adults don't let their kids have so much candy, because they're going to be super hyper and they're going to crash out. That's the effect food has on your body. But if you're eating the right protein, the right foods, not only are you going to feel proud of yourself and respect yourself by eating healthy, but this is actual food that's going to allow your brain to get the nutrients that it needs to start functioning, and you're going to perceive yourself a lot better. You're going to perceive yourself a lot better. And finally, this lifestyle that you get of like maintaining your physical health, you're learning about so many things. You're learning about fitness, exercises, supplements, science, nutrition, cooking. You're going to have so many things to say in conversation. And on top of all of that, you can do any fitness with anybody. You can literally invite people, be like, hey, bro, you want to work out with me? Hey, bro, do you want to cook this meal with me? You can literally be someone to look up to. That's people look up to because you're so good in fitness. I currently live with a roommate who is trying to improve his fitness, and recently he's been coming to me for advice. He's been asking me, oh, what should I eat to improve my testosterone? What should I eat to, improve my confidence? And I love helping him, but deep down inside, I realize that I feel proud of myself because I've been living this lifestyle that now people want to learn from me. And you're tell me this right now. If you improve your looks and your nutrition, you can't tell me you wouldn't feel proud of yourself. And you might be thinking right now, oh, but I know people who are fat, people who are unattractive, and they have confidence. They have so many friends. And I agree, there's people like that. I know lots of people like that. But let me tell you something. These people, right? I'm currently friends for a very long time with someone who was like that. But most of these people, if you ask them, they have had a really positive, reinforcing life. Maybe their parents are rich. Maybe they've been through they have lots of family. They're used to talking. But maybe you're going through a period where you don't have lots of money. Maybe you grew up bullied, like I was, racially discriminated like I was. So that kind of has an impact on you. So you need this experience. You need to go through something hard. Your body needs to go through something hard to be proud of. And your body is going to demand respect from everybody. And you are going to be 10 times more confident in yourself if you go through this hard thing. You can learn as much charisma videos. You can make the most money you can, but at the end of the day, you know that improving your physical health, looking good and feeling good by eating the right foods is going to make you 10 times more confident than anybody else. So start working on your physical health. I'm going to make videos. I post the right foods to eat, what you should eat, the best way to train. And the best way to improve your confidence, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.